There's a group of people who don't quite fit anywhere. And it's not because they're confused, it's because they lived through something most generations never experience. If you were born between 1977 and 1983, you're technically not Gen X, and you're definitely not a millennial, even though people keep trying to squeeze you into one of those labels. You're a Xennial. And what happened during those specific years shaped a psychology that's worth understanding. You grew up in a world that moved slow. Saturday mornings meant cartoons you had to wake up early for or miss completely. Making plans meant actually showing up because there was no way to cancel last minute. If you wanted to know something, you went to a library or just didn't know. But then, right as you were becoming an adult, everything flipped. The internet arrived. Cell phones became normal. Social media showed up. And you were young enough that learning it all felt manageable, but old enough to remember what life was like before. That timing matters more than people realize. Your brain was still flexible during this shift. Neuroscientists say the part of your brain that handles adaptation and learning doesn't finish developing until your mid-20s. You were right in that window when the world went digital, so you became fluent in two completely different realities. You can sit in silence without needing a screen. But you're also not intimidated by new apps or platforms. You remember being unreachable for entire afternoons. But you also don't panic when technology changes. This created something rare. You have the independence of someone who grew up solving problems alone, but you're also comfortable with the connected world younger generations take for granted. Your relationship with memory is different too. Your awkward phases, your mistakes, your messy breakups, they're not documented anywhere. They just live in stories that change over time. You weren't raised under surveillance. Your past could fade naturally the way human memory is supposed to work. But here's the part nobody mentions. You also graduated into the 2008 recession. Right when you were supposed to be building careers and stability, the economy collapsed. That kind of financial trauma during your 20s leaves marks. It changes how you think about security, risk, and whether things will actually work out, so you're adaptable because you had to be. But you're also skeptical because you've watched things fall apart before. Xennials exist in this strange in-between space. Independent but connected. Skeptical but capable. You remember the before so you can see what was lost. But you live in the after so you know what was gained. And maybe that's the real psychological insight here. You learned something most people are still trying to figure out. How to change with the world without losing who you are in the process.